Hey Dream Reachers! Welcome to another Tube of You video. Daniel Brea here. Dream Reach Media, Brea Films. Production, consulting, and so forth. In the entertainment industry, whether you're an actor, a director, a producer, really in life actually, anxiety is a problem. And it actually keeps a lot of people from fulfilling their dreams, from going after what they truly want in life. And there are ways to overcome this. And I'm not talking about the psychologist, I'm not talking about a diagnosed mental condition. See a doctor if you have that. This isn't a cure for chronic anxiety disorder. But all of us have anxieties about, things we're unsure of, which is why it's anxiety. So I'm going to start with a little bit of theory and then maybe go into some practical tips towards the end on how you can kind of accomplish your goals more effectively by overcoming anxiety. And, whether it's an audition or starting a business or going for it, like starting that acting career, starting that filmmaking career, building that production company, quitting your day job. All those things come with a level of anxiety. Now, what is anxiety, right? Okay, so I don't know about the dictionary definition, but the way I understand anxiety, it is the fear of the unknown. Right? The fear of the unknown makes us feel like we don't have control, right? So what can it cause? It causes a sense of lack of control. Right? Fear of the unknown, lack of control, that's scary to us because we like to know that things are, we like to feel safe and comfortable and loved and respected, and we don't like to be made a fool of or come off as failures, right? So you have this anxiety of failure. Am I good enough? All these things contribute to this anxiety that artists have when they are kind of on the fence, or even while they're pursuing a career. I mean, I know successful artists and that struggle with anxieties. There's always, once you've reached a certain level of success, I guess to a certain degree, there's also an anxiety about maintaining that, right? Like, can I keep this up? Am I really good enough? One day they'll find out that I'm a fraud and I'm blah. Well, in the context, for the majority of the people that might be watching this, which are presumably filmmakers and actors, in the first 5 to 10 years. There are some people here that have had long careers, so, this is still for you. But for most of the people who are in the first several years of pursuing a career in entertainment, there's a lot of anxiety about committing to it. Are you going to actually make it? Is this going to go anywhere? How long do you need to play this game until you quit and pull out and go, get a real job, right? So the way to overcome anxiety in the context of your acting career, your filmmaking career, I like green for successful stuff. The way to overcome it, because anxiety is what? The fear of the unknown, right? So knowledge, guidance, and network are key ingredients to overcoming anxiety. Why? And I'll define these a little bit more. If it's fear of the unknown, and you learn and you know, that mitigates the fear of it, right? Because if you know something, then you're not scared of it. It's kind of like why racism goes away as soon as people start traveling. Once they understand a different culture, they actually realize it's quite nice. They're not scared of it. They stop being douchebags, right? Guidance, mentorship. Now you have some knowledge. But when you apply it in the real world, you need somebody there to be like, yeah, that's good. Or maybe you should tweak this, right? So it starts with knowledge, and then it goes into guidance. So having the knowledge alone, going to film school alone, it's not enough. Film school's kind of, anyway, because they teach you all these antiquated ways of making movies, and then after that they kick you out into the world with no actual sense of how to run a business, how to actually get money, how to do it, how to produce, a whole different story. But let's say you have that core knowledge of like how to make a movie. All right, so you know how to actually hire the team and the crew and the story and all that. Well, now you need some guidance by somebody who's in the industry or who has more knowledge than you to kind of, occasionally, periodically, touch base with you and tell you, review your stuff and say, okay, well, this is good, this isn't good. And then network, right? Network, I don't mean I know Leo DiCaprio. I mean a circle of friends. Because if you tell me, who your best friends are, I'll tell you who you are, right? We've all heard that saying. So the people you surround yourself with. A supportive, uplifting community that allows you to thrive, that there isn't a sense of jealousy around it, because that's big in the industry. Like people somehow feel like, oh, if I help them succeed, then that's going to take away from my potential success. That's garbage. But if you can have a good supportive network of friends and community that are like-minded, that's these three really are the trifecta of overcoming anxiety and honestly ultimately succeeding. Because the number one factor that holds people back is not knowing, not having a mentor, not having a blueprint and a community to thrive within. Because we as humans are, at the core, we're communal beings. We do depend on each other. I don't care how independent you think you are. You depend on others, because you're not out there hunting your own bison, making your own clothes. You go to a store and buy apples. Well, guess what? People grew those apples. Other people farmed them, took them off the trees, washed them, prepared them, or not, or sprayed them with poison, depending on which people you're, looking at. Put them in a store which was started by people, run by people, shelves were stocked by other people, so that you can walk out of your house and pick up an apple and pay a little bit of money and go home, right? So you rely on other people. And in your career, it would be foolish for you to think that you're going to do all this alone. Because there's a century worth of knowledge built up in the industry, and there are people who have been in this game in various aspects of it that can just give you knowledge. That's what's so great about books, right? Like people who don't read books are just not doing themselves any favors, because there are people who have done years of research and summarized it in books for you to just learn from. So you should be reading books, you should have mentors, you should have a community of like-minded people, and you should only take information from these people and not, just guess on your own and make decisions arbitrarily. That's going to come back and shoot you in the foot. So overcoming anxiety has to do with educating yourself, having a good support system, and people or a person that's ahead of you that can guide you in the right direction. Now, where's my spongy thing? Really, the biggest issue that gets caused by anxiety, the biggest contributor to failure, which, let's face it, that's what everybody's really scared of. That's what keeps you up at night. Am I ever going to make it? Am I good enough? It's the fear of failure. Well, failure has almost nothing to do with... Now, let me phrase this correctly. What do you think the biggest chance of failing? Who has the bigger chance of failure? Subject 1 or subject 2? Subject 1, educated herself, found a mentor, invested time and money into the career, found a supportive community, okay. I'll wait with the second part. Number 2, never invest. I don't need to write all this down. Do it all yourself. Save your money, pinch your pennies, take your own headshots. Don't worry about acting class because they're all scams anyways. Don't get mentors because they want money for it. Because God forbid you pay them for their time, right? Don't move to another city because who's to say it's going to work out, right? Keep your 9 to 5. Keep your 9 to 5 because what if it doesn't work out, right? Then at least you have your 9 to 5. Do you think that's going to work out? Because the anxiety does this. The anxiety keeps you at your day job, keeps you from making big moves, keeps you from going for it, keeps you from investing your money. But then if your transmission blows out, of course, you're going to drop $6,000 on your Chevy Tahoe's transmission. But if there's an opportunity for you to invest in, a really great short film for yourself or program like Dracis, for instance, and again, I'm not saying that that's necessarily the price here, but all these expenses that you might have in and around your business as an actor, as a filmmaker, people are likely to invest in like a camera because they feel like, oh, that's what's going to really make the difference. So they buy a bunch of gear to be like a production company or filmmaker. I know producers they make huge movies. They don't own a single piece of gear. Like the gear is the last thing that you should be investing your money in. What good is a camera if you have no idea how to actually pull off a production or make money with a production company or do a solid short film that has a really good chance of getting into a festival so you can propel yourself forward as an actor? What good is all that? So there's this first of all, I'm digressing a bit because that's just a different, people invest their money in stuff that they feel comfortable with, but the stuff that they feel uncomfortable with, moving to another town, taking that leap, quitting that job and educating themselves to the point where they say, you know what, I know enough about business and drumming up work, or I'm confident I can make it work, I can get a job, I can make this work for myself. That's the real investment that you need to make to find the success. And what I'm trying to get at here is you cannot be, this is the biggest thing, right? Knowledge, guidance, and mentorship, knowledge, mentorship, or guidance, and a community will give you a lot of support. But ultimately, the number one thing to overcome anxiety is to just, like Nike said, do it. And I know this is controversial, but if it is your dream, you need to go for it, and you need to not fear failure. You cannot fear failure. And you mitigate that by educating yourself so that you know that what you're doing is correct. You do it by getting mentorship so that you have people you can rely on to keep your mindset and your movement in the right direction. and you accept that it's going to take time, and you find a community of supportive people to be around you to help you through the hard times, because you will face hard times. But if you love something, if you're passionate about something, you have to go all in on it. The biggest cause of failure, which is what I was starting to talk about earlier between option 1 and 2, is not people who actually do everything that they could and then go for it, like everything that they should be doing, educating themselves and just, going all in and releasing themselves from the plan B because they don't have a plan B. They're willing to fail, learn from the failure, and move forward. If you haven't been broke, if you haven't had some pain, if you haven't had some hardship, you're not going to succeed, because those are the elements that you need to go through. You need to feel overworked at times. You need to feel like you're going to, lose all your money and everything's crashing, because those are signs of you being on your way to success. There's not a single testimony about a successful entrepreneur, filmmaker, from James Cameron to Elon Musk. They all have stories about how they pretty much had no money, lost almost everything. Elon Musk himself has, after selling PayPal, almost lost all his money because he invested it into Tesla, and they were just about to go belly up. So you need to be okay with potentially failing, and the very concept of that, the very fact that you are okay with possibly failing, is likely going to lead you to success. But the fear of failure will keep you shackled to your comfortable, complacent situation that you're in right now, and you will not succeed. That I can guarantee you. So, anxiety has to be overcome, because if you let anxiety win, it will hold you back, and this is not the kind of industry that you half-ass your way into. Period. So if you have trouble overcoming anxiety and you are afraid of failing, you don't want to quit your day job, you don't want to move, you want to wait until everything's perfect so that you make your next move, you're never going to make your next move. Just get it out of your head. Make it so that you can at least feel comfortable with the fact that you will keep entertainment as a hobby, but this is not going to be a reality. If you work 40 hours a week at a desk job in Idaho, it's not going to happen. Okay? It's not going to happen. So, you need a mechanism to replace your income, to grow into the industry, to overcome anxiety. You need mentorship, you need guidance, you need a community, you need knowledge. But most of all, you need the will to go for it. And that's something that nobody can give you. I can give you the rest. I can give you guidance. I can give you mentorship. I can give you a community. I can give you the knowledge. There's a link below this video for Dracis. If you want to figure out how that, really what that looks like, you can watch a case study video there that explains about it. But I can't give you the drive to do this. I can't give you the kahunas. I can just give you the encouragement and let you know that I did it. I help other people do it. I see people doing it all the time. You're no better or worse than them. The only thing that's going to make you fail is the fear of failure. So think about that. Your own anxiety is the reason you're not making it. Go for it. Really commit. If it's that important to you, we only know about this one life. And the older you get, let me tell you, a year starts feeling like a month. Okay? Do it. Do it now. Rip the Band-Aid off. Go for it. Or it's never going to happen. All right. See you guys in the next one.